Right. So I'm live. I'm live for the hour. I'm going to be doing some readings for anyone that would wish today. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st. I hope you're doing well. I know most of you watch this on recordings and it kind of pops up and so on. But I've been doing my best to get on here every week, as I said I would, and connect with some of you. And it's I think at this particular stage of all of our lives, it's not so much about here's my question and would you read for me. It's a little bit more about the question's a vessel for an area of one's life where there is some clarity. And here's somewhere to put it. Here's somewhere to discharge it. Here's somewhere to let it go, right? That's why I give readings, and that's why I get on here regularly as a way to funnel away and discharge some of that aggregated interruptive energy, so you don't have to process it. That's why I do this. That's why I get on here. For those of you that will have the longer readings, will work through things. Yes, there are seasons for that, aren't there? But often we don't have lots of questions. Maybe you got the one that's the one that's tied to the huge amorphous area. That's what I feel a lot of questions are about. That's what I feel a lot of questions about. The doorway to a greater area. Now, and something else that's worth saying. Something else is worth saying. I will often get asked a question, and then someone will immediately say, "Oh, I always ask this," or "I've asked this so many times," or "I feel foolish for asking this again and again and again." Just give you an analogy here. Like the Russian doll, right? You open it up. There's the same one inside. You open up the same one inside. Same one inside. They are collectively smaller versions of the same thing inside, right? That's what it's like. That's what it's like for us working through one of our issues or greater questions. We go in, we discharge some of the energy, we exhaust some of the energy, the issue, the pattern gets smaller. We go in, we discharge some of the energy, the pattern gets smaller. But until that pattern has exhausted itself, it's still there. It's still having an effect and an influence upon our lives. And therefore, you have to keep asking the same question again and again and again until you no longer have the question, right? Okay. All right. So, a question was sent ahead of me from Natasha. I will answer that question first, and then I'm going to just as I always do, just work downwards. Right. So Natasha had a question about either getting into a relationship or staying single for a little longer, remaining single for a little longer. Let's have a look. Okay, so as brief as I can answer this, with regard to being in a relationship, staying single, it depends on what your goal is. If you just want to have someone, partner, and it's nice and your relationship, then get into a relationship. my actual recommendation, because I feel like you want something much more than that, is it's just for a little period of time to be single, but it's not about not having someone in your life. It's about you're coming to that apex in yourself where you break through the resistance and the barriers. No, come on, better words than this. Better words. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is better words. You're coming to, and you'll get to that breakthrough at which you can receive someone in, right? And you're really, really, really close. And so comes to the question: well, do you bring someone into your life and it's there and there is fun to have, and but I feel it will come and it will go and it will pass quite quickly? Or do you just be with yourself for a little while? Because it's not about single like you're missing something, like there's lack. No, there is no lack. There is no lack. There is no lack to being with oneself. In fact, there's the abundance of all the things that one can give oneself to, and spectrum of things we can allow in, right? That's what we get when we are with oneself, and we build up the bank of interest in ourselves and worth in ourselves, which then we can bring to someone else and share strengths, not weaknesses, but strengths. And that's long term, long term. So my recommendation here is to remain to be with oneself single for a little bit longer, and it will be so clear. It'll be so clear when that's been broken through. But it's not anything being missed. Okay. Get some music on here. Doop, boop, and boop. There we go. All right. All right. So I've got some more questions here. All right, Emily. Met a man, Ryan, at a golf clinic, and we went golfing and hung out last week. I really like the connection, and I'm wondering, is there anything to it, or possibly growing? I'm hoping to see him again. Okay. Yeah, Emily, this looks good. This looks really good. This looks really good. Let me see if we can get anything else here, because I'm sure you want to know. Right. I'll say this though, because I wanted to go into what you're feeling, what you're picking up, what you're connecting with. Absolutely real, right? Absolutely real. I'm not taking any of that back. I do feel that you are walking with a pebble in your shoe. I hope you understand my analogy. So every time you take the steps, like, oh, 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 and I feel you're living in anticipation of it not working, right? Right. So I met this guy. He's nice, but there's the wait. There's the feeling of waiting for the shoe to drop. Now, I'm not saying the shoe's going to drop. I'm just saying you're waiting for the shoe to drop, and there's got to be some, you got to go this way or this way at some point. And so that's what I'm seeing here. I really like what I see about the two of you. Really do. Really, really do. So what do you do with that? Right? What do you do with that? So you stay curious, right? You stay curious. You don't rush to define it. Okay, you stay curious and you don't rush to define it. Okay, that's what I'm going to say for right now. But I do like what I'm seeing with the two of you there. Right. We have Shakti. Shakti. Why doesn't M stop harassing me? And what about what should I do? Why doesn't M stop harassing me? And what should I do? I asked them to stop contacting me, but they still try. Okay. And Sean, I've just seen you got wishing me a good day. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. All right. So why doesn't M stop harassing me? And what should I do? Ask them to stop contacting me, but they still try. Okay. All right. I say this every time I get on here. I say this every time. You know, sometimes it's a challenge because I can't talk back to you, right? It's only a one-way conversation I can have. So I need to be brief and say, well, this person, whoever it is, really believes that they are right, and the sort of the lack of awareness that comes with that kind of makes them not right. Because if they were right, they would understand your pacing and their effect upon you, right? They don't seem bad. I really don't get that. It's just overbearing and almost to the point of disrespectful. So, what do you do? What do you? And this is what you might not want to hear. You let them go, right? Energy does not flow in one way only. It flows two ways, right? Energy always flows in two directions. And it's very, very easy to cast judgment, blame, okay, resentment, and all these things. You've got to remember energy flows in two directions. And for all that we feel someone has a chord in us, me, always, yes, me as well, has that with the other person too. And so, if we look at an interaction we're having with someone and we don't like it, we have to withdraw our part of it as well. It can't just be and won't be about the other person exclusively. We have to look at what we can pull out, we can withdraw, we can release, we can let go, and so that the communication and the relational interaction can be clean and clear, and we can have the experience that we actually want. And so you have your part with that. You have to put it down, right? You have to put it down. Now, you might be sitting there arguing with me and I'm frustrated with me as I'm saying this to you. But if something or someone is having that degree of reaction with us that it's frustrating and we feel disrespected or almost violated, right? We've got to work on our component of that and release that. So I'm going to leave that with you because that is what you see. Because I'm going to leave that with you because that's what is in your control and your command to do something about. Okay, let's get these. And let's go on. Kathy, I'm having an issue with a woman where I live. She ridicules me in public with her hands as she can't speak. Huh. It's uncomfortable and was wondering if you could help with insight into the so. I don't know what the so is. I guess you mean situation. She ridicules you in public with her hands as she can't speak. Gosh. Oh God. My I don't know the human being inside me is it feels very sad as I read that. Very sad for both of you. I think I'm sorry. I'm just having a human moment here. Like for someone to ridicule someone else in public, wow, they must be they must be hurting so much, and she can't speak. Oh, gosh, 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 gosh. Wow. Right. And insight. Right. Okay. Actually, I don't think I was far off with what I just said. This person's hurting, right? And it would be so great if we were all educated in this kind of thing, wouldn't it? That someone that's unkind and almost cruel is because they are hurting and they're projecting their hurt onto us because they can't handle it and see people as targets, as prey, almost. Okay, and it is a shame people behave that way. But you do need to know that, Kathy, that she is deeply hurting, like and people project that discomfort because they can't handle the discomfort. That's why they project it. Please know that. Please know that you have an element of karma with her. I'm not getting much about that because my question as I look at this is, well, what do you do? Some of what I just was saying to Shakti there applies here. And so what's your component of this? Your component is your reaction. Your component is is the satisfaction she gets from seeing that she gets a reaction out of you. Now, with people like this, if we can not react, we can not give them literally it's called giving them the satisfaction. If you cannot show that they have an effect on you, show that they stir you, they will they will do it less. They'll withdraw. They'll cease. They'll stop. Grow out of it. If you can ignore them, right? Now that's not to diminish your feelings, right? Right. But I'm saying have your feelings somewhere else. Tell me about it. Tell a friend. Tell a relative. Say this woman's behaving awfully, and you don't bring it to her. You don't show her that she has an effect on you. Okay, and then it gets less enjoyable for her to do it. I'm not going to show you the card, but I do see that you're um, kind of connected in this way, and so if you can work on releasing that connection, you're going to see her stop showing up too. Stop seeing her showing up too. Excuse me. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. I was sitting with a teacher, former mentor, years ago. We were having coffee, and he pointed at someone next to me and said, "Can you see how they're kind of leaning into our conversation?" And I saw that this gentleman was leaning towards my friend there. And he goes, "Watch this, watch this. I'm going to bring some, let's say, blue light around me, and blue light is the frequency expression of the Archangel Michael, right? To cut cords away and to diminish unnecessary external influence. Okay, so he did that, and I just watched him. I watched him, and then barely 15, 20 seconds later, maybe less than that, the guy leans away and walks off. Now, what was happening there, and the person probably didn't know what was happening there, is the person was just kind of feeding on the energy of the connection with me and my friend. This is one of the most normal things that happens. It happens when you're driving, happens when you're driving and you see clusters of cars all moving together. It's because they're in the same energetic bubble. I'm saying this because you have a choice of how much that is. You have a choice of how much that affects you and doesn't. You can do something about that. And for the people in your life, whether it is momentary, whether it is in the season, whether it is much longer than that, you can choose how much influence they have in your life and for how long. You just need to know that you have that choice. It's less about how and more about what. Okay. Right. Let's go on. That was worth saying. Okay. Now, Lisa, who just need to check something. Right. More clear. Where are we? Lisa, who do you see coming towards me regarding my love life and romance, please? You phrase that in an interesting way. You say, who do I? Now, that's not quite how I work. It's more the question to ask someone like me is, do I? Or when do I? So the question of who do I wonder what you mean, right? But I will answer. I'll absolutely read on your question. I will read on your question because the question, I'm curious about the question. I'm actually quite interested. I'm also live here on YouTube, and someone's just said hello. I just want you to know I am watching that as well. If you're just on here on YouTube with me, just type a question in the comments section. I'll just go through it one by one, but I'm going to read for a question here on Facebook first. Okay. Lisa, do I see coming into life regarding life? Right. So, Lisa, I'm going to answer. I'm not going to answer the specific question you've asked as I would answer that question. You've asked, who do I see coming into your life in a coming towards me regarding your love life and romance? Okay, I see two things. So you've just either listen back or write this down or whatever. Number one, it's someone that's going to mirror you in the way that you would like to be mirrored. And then for you, that is in a more of a relaxing way. You want to feel at ease with someone, okay? You want to have that easeful, maybe even non-verbal communication with. And if anyone's listening to me saying, well, duh, we all want that. No, you don't. No, you don't. Some of you want fun. Some of you want a bit more activity. Some of you want a bit more protectivity. And so on and so on and so on. Not everyone wants the relaxful, easeful thing. That's the first thing. In fact, no, I'm going to say a bit more about this. Say a bit more about that, because you're probably about to ask, well, what do I have to do to da 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 da? You have to be that. That is it. That is all. You have to be that, because if people come together through common resonance, the more that you are resonating in your natural and, shall we say, authentic way, true way, the easier someone finds you, right? People finding each other, right? Second thing, who, right? The person I've just described, that is not their only characteristics. No one has just singular characteristics. This person is like that with you when there is, say, no one around. they are also coming to you to, let's say, they're going to, I'll just blab the words out and, and then work backwards. They're coming to you to, let's say, free your mind a bit more. You can get very caught and trapped in your own perspectual vision of this is how things are, and no other way, right? They are going to open that space up. So you got who is coming to you, someone who is going to be easeful and enjoyable, peaceful to be around, but also someone that's going to open your eyes to other possibilities, other ways of being, other ways that things can happen, and so on, right? It's lovely. It's lovely. So thank you for asking the question. Thank you for asking the question. It helps me see things in other ways, right? So question on here: what is the reason Irian did not respond to my work? Okay. I don't know any context behind this question, so I'll just and on over on here, Jody, yours will be the next question I read on. Okay. Looking at this, I'm not sure what the reason is, because I see that I don't know if Irian is a company or a person, right? From the word you've given here, I'm going to assume it is a person, and they did see something they liked to the extent I'm wondering that they haven't responded yet. I'm wondering if you need to follow up or ask a question. I feel like whoever this is or whatever this is caught on a detail. I think you need to follow up and perhaps communicate, follow up, and expand on something. But I'm just getting it's about a yet. It's not about it. They haven't responded yet. I don't think it's that they are not going to respond. Okay. Okay, Jody. I've moved over to Codaline. Wonderful, wonderful. And I've gotten settled in. What should I be focusing on in the next couple of months? Wonderful, wonderful. Next couple of months. What is the next couple of months? We're into May and we're into June. So we're almost at the solstice by then. So now till the solstice. Right. Well, you are going through, and it's lovely, by the way. You're going through quite a transformation now, and that's a loaded word because it invokes loudness, bigness, and transformation is not always loud. It can be very, 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 very silent. Nature doesn't make a noise usually. A flower doesn't, or a flower or a butterfly doesn't really make a noise. And that's I wanted to have that image, Jody, because you are coming into a blossoming. And I'm taking a while to answer your question because you've asked, what do I focus on? What do I focus on? What do I do? And there's not actually that much to do. This is one of those times when there's a huge amount going on in the inner, but all we have is our vantage point on the outer to look at. And we're like, well, surely I need to do something. especially for those of us who've been in survival mode for some years, decades. Some people, it can happen, and you're like, well, I need to go, and not necessarily, not necessarily. Maybe you finally gotten to the place where to the environment where you can. And I'm just getting confirmations about that. Can you allow yourself to be led? Can you allow flow to take you? And listen, if you stay on here for this whole hour, I probably won't say that to anyone else. It's not advice I like to give, um, because it's just so easy to say and actually challenging to put into to practice. But would you? Can you? You know, so I don't know what your guiding principle is, if it's spirit guides, if it's God, if it's angels, if whatever it is, Buddha, Jesus. You say, guide me, show me what to do this afternoon. Show me what to do in the next 5 minutes. You're really, talking to the deepest part of yourself there. But do that, because you can't make a flower grow. It will just grow. You can't make the sun come out. It just will. So think like that, rather than I've got to meet people, I've got to put up a new wall, or I've got to landscape the garden. It's like I'm letting myself come out in a way that I never have before. Diana. Okay. Diana. I'm glad I caught you. Hope you are well. I hope you are well too. Will I pass my in 2 weeks for nursing school? Will I pass my in 2 weeks? I'm on the cusp of passing and doing my best. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, so will you pass? I imagine you're taking tests or something like that. So so let me just figure this out. Do you want to? Well, will I pass in 2 weeks nursing school? Okay, I'm on the cusp of passing. Okay, cool. I have to have the question in my head so that I can tune in, right? Yep. Passing. Don't even have anything else to say about it. Passing. Look forward to the good news, Diana. Wonderful. Okay, Amy, will my current work situation work out in my favor? Okay. Let me just go a little more in. The favor. Not as much as I would like to see. Even if I say it's okay, I'm being a little generous there. To me, it looks like a lot of effort, a lot of energy output, and it's okay. I didn't say dreadful or terrible, and I'm not saying wonderful and magical either. And I'd love to give you something more definitive than that, but it's okay. But you see, I'm not saying leave. I'm not saying that. I'm answering a question you asked me. And So I am gonna pick a side, and I'm gonna say yes. It works out in your favor. What I haven't got a clear handle on is how long that will take. I think that's what I'm tuning into. This is just something's just taking a while, which is why I was hesitating there. But I feel like when it does, it is more favourable than not. It's more favourable not. That's how I want to put it. Okay. Jill, if I have time, would trouble seeing today. If I have time, would you please read on my son? Is there another activity that we should attempt to add to his schedule to increase his ability to meet other kids? The kids' fitness class is not going to continue. Not enough interest, so he'll be joining the adult class, which is great for fitness, but not great for making friends. It's been a challenge since deciding to homeschool. Got you. Right. Got something similar going on in my house too. Is there another activity? Right. Okay. Jill, I get right now not. A couple of things about that. One is it doesn't seem a problem to the. It's I think a little bit more of a problem, quote with the quote fingers, right, from your vantage rather than his. It's the first thing. The second, we're not far off summer, and you got the option for camps and stuff, and I'm seeing some of that too. Now, if we were doing this reading in September or something, or in February, well, different, but we're close to summer break, close enough to the summer break that I feel everything's fine for right now for his syllabus, and the curriculum you've got. Getting into certainly into June. There's going to be other things you can do with and for him. Let's go on. Michelle, Will, my partner, and I work together to get back together. Okay. I'll get a yes on that. I get a yes on that, Michelle. These things don't just happen of their own accord, and there is a timing element to it. But I really do feel the want and the inclination from you both. Remember, with working, right, with working on a relationship, that actual work, the actual work part of it, involves a lot of listening and curiosity. The word work is a misnomer. The word work is a misnomer. It conveys trying to get someone to do something that they're not doing, and actually listening, being receptive, creating capacity. That's that's working. That's working, right? But yes, that's what I wanted to say. I knew I was missing something. Okay, just making sure we have time. Judy, we have been back in touch with our grandson. Wonderful, wonderful. Nothing bad happened on our end. We have been back. Nothing bad happened on our. We haven't heard from him since my birthday in December. I know there was something going on with this job, but that's all. He isn't responding to us advice. We had been in touch. I see what you're saying. Right, isn't responding. Right. Let me qualify what give him time means. Got to remember that often what someone is going through with you has more to do with them than you. It's of course impossible to know because we're not telepathic. We're very intuitive and sensitive, but we're not telepathic. And I feel like with him, Judy, he gets into his own cocoon, and I can't see it, and just so he just does just not does the minimum, but does what he has to do. Trust that he is growing. Trust that he's doing what he needs to do, and I want to say just let him be for the time being. Let him be. I wish I could just say this in person. I feel a little cold saying this and feel blunt. It's not my intention, but let him work through what he's working through. Let him do what he needs to do, and remember, it's how available and warm you are to him when he does reach out. That's what's going to make him do it again. Okay. Karen, do I see you in court in July, or will a settlement be offered that I will find satisfactory? What is the balance? What is the balance of each at this trajectory? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that sentence means. What is the balance of each at this project? Sorry, I don't know what you mean. So let me see. Do I see you in court in July, or will a settlement be offered? I'll find satisfactory. All right, let's go there. Right, Karen, it's looking like court in July, looking a lot more like court in July, and not seeing a satisfactory settlement being offered before that. Okay. Simone, love a message. Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. Simone. Mm. All right. A very interesting one here, Simone. So the first card that came down, because I wanted to see this, is the World card. The World card is about passing on to the next stage. It's where it's the big completion of the cycle before the next one starts and continues. and and it looks lovely. It looks lovely. What then happens? What I'm kind of being asked to share with you is that you this sort of little mini graduation stage you're at here. You're gonna meet an old frustration, an old pain, an old wound, right? It's like, oh shit, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Whoa. But this is what you need to know, that you will meet that with an advanced compassion, an advanced patience, and advanced wisdom, right? Because you have grown and you've kind of passed through this. And so it's to know that when you see this when you have this response, this reaction, frustration, or judgment against something or someone or even yourself, it's to know this is coming up now because I can deal with it so well, because I can meet it with these new growth attributes I've earned and cultivated in myself. It's to know that you might be, quote unquote, dealing with something you've dealt with before, but you're dealing with it with new a new level of capability and skill. Yeah. Oh, Jill. Joshua, I am wondering what I need to do to release anxiety and worry about current life situations in order to embrace the present moment and trust the universe and the process. Having a hard time with limbo and the in between parts of life. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Then I'll say two things. The thing I really want you to hear, Jill, is it's limbo from your perspective. I don't know how long you've been on here, but I was talking to someone like 40 minutes ago about our perspectual viewpoint can be like a prison. Like, this is all we see. This is all we think is possible, and I think we all do that. But you are not seeing the progress that's getting made. You're not seeing the advances getting made. You're not seeing that for whatever reason. And so the first thing I want to say is get out of your, talk to more people. Like, say what you've just said, but to more people, and they will reflect something you're not seeing. Because I'm looking at this here, and I'm really quite impressed. I know what limbo is like. I know what not completed going on for too long feels like. I know these things very, very well. I know how it feels. I'm not pretending you don't feel like that. But there's other things you're not seeing, okay? You're not seeing, you're not where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean things haven't happened and aren't happening. The other thing I want to say, there is a reason to talk to people more, is it's a way of getting the, what word did you use? It's a way of getting the anxiety out. Now, you got the people that will just vent and complain wherever they go. You are not one of those people. And you know you're not one of those people because you're worried about being one of those people. You're worried about, like, oh, I don't want to offload, I don't want to upset, I don't want to overshare. And the very awareness itself is the very awareness of that is preventative. So you're not going to overshare, you're not going to bother or burden anyone. But you do need to talk more. You do need to talk more. Speaking is releasing. Some people think, oh, I can't say it out loud because it will happen. I can't say things I'm worried about out loud because they'll happen. No, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that. We've got to voice things. We've got to verbalize so we know what we're feeling, so that it has less power over us. You need to exhaust the anxiety. You need to release it. You need to actively do things that let it go, right? Because if I could show you the spread I've got here, the anxiety is very actually hollow. It's not founded. It's not got any founding here. It's there. It's bothering you because you're familiar with anxiety, but it's not got roots. It's not got roots, Jill. How are we doing for time? We're getting a bit close on time. Denise. I'm in a very difficult situation because of money. I'm having to sell my house and move to a very small town 3 hours from here that doesn't even have a grocery store. I'm sorry. I'm so depressed and suicidal. Oh, Denise. You know, first of all, my heart absolutely goes out to you. And I don't ignore or turn away from these things, you know. So let me say, you know, the feeling of feeling suicidal, right? I think a lot of us go there from time to time. We do, and let's just be constructive here. I'm not the person to speak to about that. You know, if it's a concern you have, get the appropriate support. Of course. You know, I trust that you can and will do that. I also hear you on, you know, the challenges of moving, and you don't want to be 3 hours away. So let's see what we have here. Okay. Okay. So I should have also, of course, said at the start here, I do this for education and entertainment purposes only, and so on. I've got to say that. I don't know how much weight or credence any of you give to what I do here. But let me offer this to you, Denise. You are this side of a big change, you know, and you don't know what's the other side of it. And the assumption is that it's not going to be to your liking. You're not going to be happy. I disagree with that. From what I'm seeing here, I do see you about to go through this change, and I see it being a good one. I actually see it being a good one. And I see you being happy as well. Now, why would I'm not just going to make that up. I would have said to you if I didn't see that, and I don't see that. So I actually see this being quite a positive change. If you can be somewhat open to that as a possibility, right? As a possibility, like, oh, this might not be so bad. It feels bad right now. Feels like a loss right now. But I'm just going to invite you just to give this a chance. And God works in our lives and through all of us in some strange ways. But you know, if you are getting that down as well, let's not pretend otherwise. Let's not pretend. Denise, if you are getting that down, please seek the appropriate support. Okay. Paula would like a message if drawn. You know, Paula, I don't know your situation or anything, right? But I'm getting that there is, there is either a relationship for you, or if you're in the possibilities, it's going to blossom into something very much to your liking. I don't get on here just to hand out relationship advice. I will do so when I'm asked, but when it's presented to me, I'll absolutely share that, right? So you wouldn't have heard me say that to anyone else today. So I feel actually the message for you is about relationship, either a new one or the one you are in blossoming into something that you would want it to be, right? And okay, I'm going to make this the last question then. Catherine, you've asked, will my finances improve soon? I get a big yes on that. A big yes on that. How, when, haven't looked at that, but I do get a yes on that. Yep. Yes. I'm absolutely gonna stick my neck out there and say yes. I do see. In terms of timing, well, let's. I feel timing's like. I feel it's going to be a couple of months, right? I always feel I have to qualify what my soon is. So I feel getting into late summer. Yeah, sort of around late summer at least. Okay. Right. All right. So I'm going to have to leave now. So can we all take a breath? Any of you that are still with me and so on, take a breath with me. Take a breath. We take a breath from. I always say, take a breath for the people who do not have the presence of mind to take a breath right now. A lot of people very stressed, with the world and all the situations. We take a breath for them. We take a breath for ourselves. We say a prayer for the world. We say a prayer for humanity. We're never not going to need to do that. We say a prayer for humanity. We say a prayer for each of you, that you have what you need, you are who you need to be, and you do what you need to do. And remember that there is a great deal of support around us, and that we are truly blessed when we see it and when we don't see it. So I will. I'll head off now. I'll be doing sound healing on Saturday. I will. I'll send out the text reminders to my group, and I'll post something as well. But you all have a wonderful rest of the week.